Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Twins Week in Baseball, the recap show for the games not played on YouTube for the 2016 Twins replay using Stratomatic Advanced on the TribeFan 879 YouTube channel. And today's recap will have 2 out of the 3 games against the Chicago White Sox and the first 3 games of a 4-game series against the Indians. And we'll start with the first game of the series against the White Sox, game 102, which is Jose Quintana against Ricky Nolasco. And what would end up being Ricky Nolasco's last start for the Twins as he would get traded to the Angels. And the White Sox draw first blood here. Jose Abreu with the leadoff home run in the top half of the second. That made it 1-0. The Twins would answer back in the bottom half of the third. A 1-out double by Brian Dozier, and then another double by Robbie Grossman. That scores Dozier, and that makes it a 1-1 game. The White Sox would pull ahead in the top half of the sixth. 2-out rally, 2-out double by Melky Cabrera. A walk puts runners on first and second, and then Justin Morneau with a base hit scores Melky, and the Twins trail 2-1. However, that would be short-lived. Miguel Sano with a leadoff walk in the bottom half of the sixth, and then the knockout blow by Kenny Vargas. That takes Quintana out of the game, and that puts the Twins up 3-2. Now I get a little dicey. They bring in Ryan Presley, who's usually one of their sure-handed relievers. However, he would give up the lead. A 1-out double again by Melky Cabrera. Moves to third on a single by Jose Abreu and scores on a Justin Morneau single. So that's 2 RBIs on the day for Morneau. He went 3 for 4 on the day with those 2 RBIs, and that tied the game at 3. However, the White Sox would have bullpen issues of their own. Dan Jennings, starting the 8th, gave up a leadoff single to Robbie Grossman. In came Tommy Kahnle. I got the first out of the inning. However, a 1-out double by Kenny Vargas puts runners on second and third, and then Max Kepler, playing fundamental baseball, hits a deep fly ball to center field. It doesn't leave the yard, but it's enough to score the go-ahead run, and that puts the Twins up 4-3. Then Brandon Kintzler would pitch a scoreless 9th to give the Twins the lead. Jennings gets the loss in relief, and Trevor May gets the win, and Brandon Kintzler the save. All right, well, we'll go to game 103. This pitted Miguel Gonzalez against Tommy Malone, and this game was almost all White Sox. We go to the top half of the second with 2 outs. Dioner Navarro, who would have the start of a big day, solo bomb, and that made it 1-0. Then we scoot along to the 5th, and a little bit of deja vu. Once again, Dioner Navarro, solo home run, this time only with 1 out. And that put the White Sox up 2-0. They would score another run in the 6th. 2-base error by Byron Buxton. That rarely happened. And then a 1-out double scores Saladino. Saladino reached on a 2-base error. He scores on a double by Jose Abreu. And that would be curtains for Tommy Malone. And Fernando Abad would finish out the top half of the 6th. The Twins would add some icing on the cake. Actually, it would be the icing they would need. 1-out single by Tyler Saladino off of Michael Tonkin. And then a triple by Melky Cabrera. Sorry. And then that made it 4-0. Jose Abreu walked, and then Avisail Garcia with a sacrifice fly to center field scores the 5th run. Now, the White Sox tried to use Carson Fulmer out of the bullpen in the ninth, and it almost cost them. You did get the first out on a Byron Buxton strikeout, but a single and a walk, and then Max Kepler hits his 7th home run of the year, a 3-run shot, and then they had to bring in David Robertson. He walked Dozier, got Suzuki to strike out, and then Eduardo Escobar singles, puts runners on first and third, and Jorge Polanco was the go-ahead run, but he strikes out. So Gonzalez goes 5 2/3. He gets the win. Robertson pitches the ninth for the save. The loss will go to Tommy Malone. He gave up 3 runs in 5 1/3 innings. So, all right. So game 104 was played on the channel. A fantastic finish. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend you do that. All right. So the next game is game 105. This is Jose Barrios against Danny Salazar. And the Indians get on the board first. A 1-out walk to Jason Kipnis. Then followed by a 2-out walk to Mike Napoli, and then Jose Ramirez. Jose. Sorry, don't mean to be a homer here. Base hit, scores Kipnis from second, and that made it 1-0 Indians. The Twins would go on a little bit of rally of runs. They'd score single runs on in the third, fourth, and fifth. The single run in the third, a leadoff single by Brian Dozier. He goes to third on a Joe Mauer single and scores on a Max Kepler sac fly. In the top half of the fourth, Eddie Rosario with a leadoff home run. That made it 2-1 Twins. And then in the fifth inning, the Twins would get their final run of the game. 1-out walk to Max Kepler. Goes to third on a Kurt Suzuki single. Then Eduardo Escobar drives home Kepler. And that made it 3-1. The Indians would get a run back in the bottom of the fifth. A 2-out home run by Mike Napoli makes it 3-2, and then we go to the bottom half of the eighth, and then the Twins bullpen falls apart. This is Taylor Rogers in the game in the top of the eighth. Error by Eddie Rosario puts a runner on second, puts Jose Ramirez on second base. Lonnie Chisenhall, not long ball Lonnie, but gap ball Lonnie, doubles to score Ramirez, moves to third on a Rajay Davis single. Tyler Naquin with a base hit puts runners on first and second, and that would be enough to put the Indians ahead 4-3. Cody Allen pitches a 1-2-3 ninth, and the Indians win 4-3. This would make the record of the Twins 44-61. For the particulars, Barrios gets Rogers would get the loss. Brian Shaw gets the win, and Cody Allen the save. And then we go to game 106. The next two games are going to be a little gruesome. Okay, this was Kyle Gibson against Carlos Carrasco. This would be close early, but not much later than that. The Indians get on the board first, bottom of the second. Tyler Naquin, 2-out walk, scores on an Abraham Almonte double. This would be a theme for him on the day. The Twins would get the run right back in the top half of the third. Danny Santana, a 2-out double, scores on a Brian Dozier single. So that made it 1-1. And then the wheels fall off. All right, I won't go into too much of this. I'll try to just kind of run through this pretty quickly. Bottom of the third, leadoff walk to Kipnis, leadoff walk to Santana, scores on a Kipnis triple. And then Kipnis would score on a 2-out single by Jose Ramirez. That made it 3-1. It would be 5-1 in the bottom of the fourth after a 1-out single by Abraham Almonte. He stole second and scores on a 2-out double by Carlos Santana. He was smooth. Santana would score and a Kipnis double, and so that made it 5-1. They'd had a 4 spot in the 5th. 2-run home run by Jose Ramirez, and then Abraham Almonte with his second double of the day scores Tyler Naquin, who doubled before him, and then Carlos Santana with his third double of the day scores Almonte, sorry. The Indians would get 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Lonnie Chisenhall. This would have been off of Michael Tonkin. 11-1. Carrasco gets the win. Gibson gets the loss. Carrasco went 7 innings. Gave up the 1 run. Yeah, that's about all you need to know for that game. And then finally, going into the game with a 44-62 record, which is actually still 2 games better than what they did in real life. I think it might be down to 1 after this game, because I think the Twins in real life took 3 out of 4 in this series, and now they'll be lucky to get 1 out of 4. This was Tyler Duffy against Trevor Bauer. This game was actually close for 4.5 innings, and then either the Indians heard raindrops or thought they might want to get their hitting shoes. I'll opt for getting the hitting shoes. Bottom of the 5th, all this with 2 outs. Abraham Almonte single, Chris Jimenez single. He actually went 3 for 4 on the day, so that's not bad for a backup catcher. They put runners on first and second, and then a double by Carlos Santana drives home Almonte, and then Jason Kipnis with a 3-run bomb sends Duffy to the showers. That would make it 4-0. The Indians would add a touchdown with the extra point in the bottom of the 7th. They sent 12 men to the plate. They scored 7 runs. A couple of them might have been unearned. Yeah, because of the error with Kipnis. I'll just let you take a kind of look at this. There were some doubles, some walks. Yeah, so the 7 spot there, and then a 2 spot in the 8th inning. Essentially, Lonnie Chisenhall played closer there, 2-run double. Sorry, this is not really much to kind of do. Duffy went 4 2/3, gave up 4 runs. Actually, Tyler Rogers and Ryan Presley did the best. Rogers went inning of third, didn't give up anything. Tonkin gave up 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning. May faced 5 batters and did not get anybody out, and he walked 2 of them. Brandon Kinsler came in the 8th because I needed to get some arms rested. 2 runs there. All right, well, that'll do it for this recap. The Twins have 1 more game left, and they will go in with a 44-63 record. And the full game that will be played on YouTube is Hector Santiago against Mike Clevenger. And that's all I have for today on this recap on this first week of August. So we are getting down to the nitty gritty. And as I always say, if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button and hit that bell icon. You'll be notified of any videos that come out. And whatever games you are playing, either tabletop or PC, may your games be lively and your games be good. Have a good night, everybody.